You already know who I am. And if you don't know, this is our intro podcast, the first of many. I'm super stoked to release it, even though it's like one of those where it's like, dude, I'm on camera. My brother too, he's on it. We're gonna be discussing the ins and outs of keeping it real since. Also, look, we're gonna put up a screen. This is how advanced we are now. This is our website, boys. Check it out. You can get your clothes here. Go to the next tab. Oh yeah, is that records? What you produce? Yes. Okay. Now the next one. Guess what? That's where you see the podcast. So anytime you see a new podcast, that's where we're gonna be showing it. We're gonna be getting it on YouTube. We're gonna be on X if we get canceled on YouTube, which I hope not. So follow us there, guys. We're super excited. This is the first of many. So come watch it. Check it out. Go ahead and talk on the mic.
What's going on, guys?
Welcome
to the Keeping It Real Since podcast.
The Keeping It Real Since pod.
KIRS acronym.
Yeah.
Just a little taste of what's possible.
Yeah, we look like the Nelk Boys. Speaking of Nelk Boys, if you look to my right here, we have Happy Dads, Death Row.
Happy Dads.
Hey, we're not sponsored. We're just They're brother
good.
who's a year sober. He's yet to try it, but we'll get him on the pod. We'll get him to try some of those, and we'll get his honest review.
We also like Topo Chicos.
Topo Chicos, everyone.
Right here.
We're dropping all the sponsorships right now. But no, dude, this is the first Keeping It Real Since podcast that we're gonna actually like go through with and put out there. I always see a lot of fucking videos, Chris, where I think people, the first thing they do is they talk about the negativity. I want to focus on the positive part of it. I think if you look at things positive, when you start a goal, you kind of just see everything for what can happen.
Yeah.
This is episode 1 of I don't know how many. You never know how big this can get.
And that's the thing. And we don't got to pay anybody for this. It's ours. People pay studio time. They pay for this and that. And it's like, dude, we got a brand. We got our clothing, we got our music, we got our digital art, 100%. And now we got our channel to expose ourselves on YouTube, Instagram.
True.
It's free for us.
The point of Keeping It Real Since of our brand, just talking for real, just real conversations. That's it. It can be about anything. And I think that's how we're trying to focus here on and promote shit, promote whatever other people have going on, and just whatever you want to speak about, come on here and say it. Obviously, if it's something you want to get off your chest, that's a good opportunity to do. Hey, man, and we can edit the fuck out of it. So if you start name dropping and shit,
we'll beep it out. We got the soundboard right there.
Can you tell the people, Chris, what we have to do to set up a podcast like this? Because I don't think people are aware of like.
Well, we
have
a studio. It's a multifunctional studio. We do music, art. My brother's cutting hair. There's a bunch of stuff that's going on in the studio. So we have to set up for every occasion. We would love to keep it like this, but it takes a little bit of time to set up. It took about an hour to set up today. Not bad. It's exciting stuff to see it all set up. When you see it like this, you almost want to stop cutting hair.
Bro, that's the whole goal, dude. That's the whole goal. Yeah. But that's the thing we have. What do we got? Like what we did was we already had a camera from way back when, dude. Sometimes you just got to use the shit that you already have. So I had a camera since, I'm a barber. So, it's necessary that when you're a barber, you're a therapist, you're a photographer, you're a videographer, you're all this shit.
Yeah.
So I bought a camera to like take pictures of my haircuts. Then I realized, well, shit, smartphones are good. So whatever. I never really used the camera. I use more my phone. But I've had a camera since way back when. It's the Canon T7i. As time went on, I bought an iPad just to work on art. But honestly, what we're using to film this is 2 cameras. We just bought a new one. We have an iPad, and we're using some Adobe app. I forget what the app is.
I don't know what it's called.
I don't know. Audition. It's called Audition. So
there we go.
That one's recording our audio.
Adobe.
Yeah, shout out to, Creative
Cloud, Adobe.
Creative Cloud, Adobe, man. Our boys at Adobe. Yeah. Come show us some love and give us some money.
Yeah. And honestly, like all this stuff was accumulated through time. So if anyone wants to do it, it's like through the years we accumulated it, and now we put it all together, and now we have a fully functioning studio.
I'll say this. It was easy to get because, and let me say why.
It is easy, but for us, it took a while. We accumulated this stuff through the years. So,
facts.
For some people, it might not be easy. For some people, it will be easy. Depends on your position.
Just buy a mic,
but just do it. That's it. Just fucking do it.
Yeah,
invest in yourself. Like if you wanna do something, you gotta invest in yourself. Stop partying and drinking with those hoes.
Geeks,
That's
bro.
that's honestly like I work at. All I see is dudes spending their money and they're not getting any play. Nothing.
It's true. I agree with you, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you going to spend it on other shit when...
You just got to do it.
So that's how we have the pod, and we're just recording. We're right here. We're just doing it live, dude. We're just fucking saying whatever. For keeping it real, since for those curious that are watching this, for the 10 people that are starting to watch this, because best believe, Chris, I think we're going to start off as like 10, 12 views and shit. And then it's going to grow. It's going to get to that point. But there's so many avenues we can take this to. I think that's what's going to end up happening. We're going to start from a small place and then expand into all that, because this is just a 2-man operation, believe it or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're doing it.
Yeah, man.
And we're here.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff.
Nice. Really
too
good
bad.
stuff, huh?
Yeah. Not too bad. I like it.
Questions about the podcast? I think we kind of covered everything about it.
It's going to be both of us. We're going to be interviewing people that we find interesting that could spread a good message, and, owners of businesses, whether, or maybe even artists, people that can really motivate other people, and it's going to be a good podcast.
True.
It's going to be great.
I think we want to be inspirational, but at the same time entertaining too. So if you guys, if all those jokesters out there, you got a 5-minute set, come through.
A lot of... Thank you.
So the button. So we're in an old building, ladies and gentlemen. This fucking building has been around since God knows when. I think it's called it's the Spurgeon Building here in downtown Santa Ana. So sometimes at night you might hear some fucking creaky shit. And this is not the first time that machine hits that hand clap when I say some shit. Especially if I talk about ghosts and stuff, like that thing will fucking light up and it'll always cheer or it'll do something. Like one time I asked something like a question and it went, it did that whole thing that, it has a sound that, hold on, let me see if I can. Yeah, it was that one. So it hit that button. I was like, but some crazy shit has happened in this building. I've had people not people. I go in, there's a conference room that we have. And I was trying to get in there to take a phone call because I think you were in here or somebody else was in the office. And I ended up going inside that, or I tried to pull the door. And
I'm listening.
No, Chris, you're like...
I'm listening.
So anyways, I'm going, so somebody, you were in here with the office or somebody or some shit. And I went out to the conference room to go take the call and shit. So I'm trying to open the door, and as I open the fucking thing, the door opens by itself. It pulls my fucking hand. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And I'm
Are you
like,
sure it
yeah,
wasn't the wind?
What? Nah, dog. There's no wind over there, bro. That's a hallway. That's a hallway with no windows, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. There's a hallway with no windows, and you kind of think to yourself like, okay, yeah. You try to think about the logical reasons of why some fucking door would just open by itself before you even fucking turn the damn knob, and the shit just opens up. So anyways, that's the shit we're dealing with up here. So if you hear a random ass clap or whatever,
I personally never witnessed anything up here, but then again, I kind of ignore everything.
Yeah, I got some sage sticks up here, so
hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, we keep it clean up in this B.
But other than that, Santa Ana's pretty safe.
As far as
ghosts, it's I don't think it's haunted. Well, everywhere is haunted. There's that house down the street that's haunted, the Pancake House.
You know what's a hard thing about podcasting, I think, is being able to fucking say everything, because I feel like there's experiences you want to talk about, but then it's
but you know what it is?
You don't want to burn people, or you don't want to fucking, so that's the hard part.
Well, you know what it is too? I feel like we're explaining to an audience what's going on instead of just talking. Because when we're in the car, I notice when we're yapping out, we'll say some shit and we're like, damn, we should have saved that for the podcast. Damn, we should have saved that on the podcast. But here it's there's a camera and it's oh, we're talking to people. So it's hey guys, what's going on? It's kind of like a vlog.
I don't think about it as, there's somebody watching. It's yeah, I'm entertaining, but I'm so used to being a barber, bro, that I talk to people so much. Their head is turned the fucking other way. I'm not looking at them. So I have this I have this, I don't know, I guess you want to say a comfortability with, because it took some time to adjust, bro, because I used to have to turn people and fucking look at them and be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm like so used to their heads turning, I'm just cutting their hair and shit. You know, one of the things, you ever seen like pilots to like Pokemon, you know, a bunch of those like kid shows that we used to watch, and they always have to start off with some like context and shit. They don't just fucking throw out battles and throw out, oh, this is this guy. They slowly grow into something, and that's kind of like where we have to do on this first one, because one thing I'm trying to keep in mind is that this is the first one. Like, who the fuck are we? I bet you there's somebody watching this all random who has no idea who we are, never met us, never knew about our brand, that's gonna come upon this one and be like, what the fuck? Like, what are they talking about? So for me, I'm trying to like paint kind of a narrative of who we are, because it's like, dude, me and Chris, dude, we're brothers, dude. We don't talk all corny and shit. There's gonna be some shit said that I think only we know, and we're gonna probably giggle and
that's it.
and then I'm gonna forget to give y'all context, but that's the hardest part, is being aware of context, because sometimes you gotta paint the picture for people. Like when I watch other podcasts, like they're good at explaining what they're gonna go through, especially who their guest is. And since this is like an internal pod, it's kind of like we're just setting the fucking ground rules. Really, exactly. Some podcasts that I follow, Chris, I don't know if you follow any of these, is like I watch the Nelk Boys.
You watch that guy?
Which one?
You know, he seems very professional.
As far as podcasts where they're literally like a couple of dudes and shit, it's definitely the Nelk Boys. I used to watch Andrew Schultz, but I think Andrew Schultz kind of like, I don't know, it got too try hard for me. Like it's cool, but it's like I'm kind of over it now. Like that used to be one of my favorite podcasts, the Flagrant podcast. I like that one dude, Theo Vaughn.
There's one guy that you sometimes watch. He sounds Italian, or not Italian, but he kind of looks Italian, I guess.
Oh, Valuetainment. Dude, I love Valuetainment.
The guy with the kind of deep voice.
Yeah, deep voice. Yeah, Patrick Bet David, dude. I fuck with Patrick. Joe Rogan, duh.
Yeah.
You know, people like that. Like, I like watching a lot of
I don't know their
shits.
names, but I know who you're talking about.
Are we still on? Are we recording? Hold on.
Yeah, I think so. We're gonna edit this.
Yeah, yup. We are. Shout out to Michael Almaraz to make that one, you know, iconic. So we were talking about podcasts and like the notes I'm taking out of it. So the thing about this is the first episode, we're just basically laying out the ground rules. Our idea is to take over the world and then, you know, go from there. I mean, if you if y'all know about Pinky and the Brain, you kind of know, you kind of understand what kind of mind frame we're in right now.
Hey, this is Pinky.
I don't give a shit. We're at the end of the day, it's two fuckers that wanted to take over the world and really put a stamp on it with their signature. You understand me? So yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe there's not too much more to talk about, but, you know,
well, yeah,
that's basically the podcast for us.
You need to edit a lot.
I'm not going to edit that out. I'm going to keep it in because you know what? It's real.
And yeah, keep tuned in. We're going to have a lot of cool guests come in and spread some real knowledge.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be fun, guys.
Yes, sir.
So stay tuned. Just a couple of people.
Later, boys.